Hey YouTube, and welcome back to another video with the Florida Stacker. Today's video is going to be a little longer than usual. I'm going to talk about gold and silver, and I'm also going to talk about the future direction of this stacking channel. So stay tuned. Hey YouTube, and welcome back. So it has now been 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Today's Thursday. Yeah. So it's 2 weeks ago was the last time I was in my office. I've been at home now working for 2 weeks. And for those of you that are at home right now working a job and you've got kids at home, you know how difficult that is. So the kids are in bed right now with mom. They're getting down, getting comfortable, and so we're going to do another video. So today, first and foremost, I want to say to anyone new to the channel that I am the Florida Stacker, and I am a married 40-year-old father of two. I live in Central Florida, USA. I recently retired military officer. I served in the U.S. Army, and I've now been working in the private sector for a short time. So fortunately, I'm in a growing career field. I would say that we're a pretty typical middle-class American family, but I am working hard to move us to the next level. Before I go further, I think it's important to outline why I started stacking in the first place. I've been on YouTube now for a little more than 6 months. Having said that, I think it is important to note that I'm not a collector. I do have a particular eye for a certain series of coins. There are coins out there that I really admire, but I am truly here trying to convert my fiat dollars into bullion to accumulate and maintain my wealth. So before we go on with the future direction of the channel, let's talk gold and silver. And today, gold opened up in the mid 1600s and closed a little north of that. Not much of a busy day for gold. The stock market was up. The Dow Jones was up a little more than 6%. It's now day 3 of this mini bull rally. But I'm looking at this like the 2008 setup, and I'm very cautious right now because, in my opinion, we could be setting ourselves up for a bull trap right now. So I'm being very cautious with purchases. Um, I went and saw my LCS, as mentioned 2 days ago. We got the family out of the house, and it just to go get some ice cream. They rolled up to see George at All American Gold and Silver with me, and we bought the last two things he had, which were these two 1/10 ounce gold American Eagles, and really hard to pick up. Actually, they're pretty thin coins. If you haven't owned one yourself, they're smaller than a dime. And it's 1/10 of an ounce of gold. It's a great entry point to stacking gold coins, and I really enjoy them. They're really popular. So we paid $170 each for those two coins, so that was an absolute steal. So we'll go ahead and cut to that clip real quick. Hey everybody, got the whole family with me on this family trip to All American Gold and Silver to pick up the last two gold coins George has in stock. This will probably be the last trip to the coin shop for some time. It's looking like things are about to get a little more crazy here in Central Florida than they have been, as far as lockdowns and such are concerned. So we're going to take advantage and go grab some gold now. Family's been cooped up for 12 days, and there's a good excuse to get out of the house and get some ice cream and go grab some gold. So here we are. Hey guys, Florida Stacker. I'm here with just picked up his last two gold Eagles, traded them a little silver, and as you know, I took some money out of that OneGold account to come up here and make that happen. Hope you guys are all doing well. This is going to be a very short video because we're still trying to do the social distance thing. So say hi, George.
How you doing?
Give them a call, All American Gold and Silver. Give them a call, especially if you're selling. All right, we'll talk to you guys soon. So it was definitely nice getting everybody out of the house, even if it was just to go on a road trip to see George for a few minutes. Now, where I am currently living, things have gotten a little more serious, and so I don't think George is going to be open much longer with the way things are going, and he's pretty much completely sold out. But just in case he's not, and you're still in the market, you could always give him a call. I'll leave his contact information in the video description. So before we go any further, let's let's start by looking backwards and let's go 10 years ago. All right. Let's go 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I was a few months away from marriage. I was relying solely on my paycheck to pay my bills, to entertain myself and my fiance, and to put a little money away in my IRA, as well as, purchase an engagement ring and put money aside for a wedding and travel expenses. We had a honeymoon planned. Got us a nice hotel suite the night of the wedding. Basically, guys, I had a lot of financial obligations when I was around the age late 20s, early 30s. We used to carry as a young family a lot of credit card debt on multiple credit cards, and making those routine payments became sort of a way of life. It just became normal to write those $40, $60, $100 a month payments. I had a high mortgage payment, and don't even get me started on my car payments, which were above the national average at that time. I was a college-educated professional making a nice, lower entry-level middle-class salary for a 29, 30-year-old, and yet I had no wealth. I had no silver. I had no gold, and what wealth I had was in something called mutual funds and my home's equity. You know the old saying, they say that first comes love and second comes marriage, and it did, but also with more debt now. And especially when third came the baby in the baby carriage, it just got worse. And to top it off, the economic recession of 2009 saw my home lose 40% of its value by 2011. In approximately 2000, late 2011, early 2012, my family and I, we got reassigned to Germany, and I could not rent my house for 1750 when I had a mortgage on it for 2200. I was living in the Seattle, Washington area, very expensive part of the country to live in 2009. I had to settle for a short sale in 2012, and my credit took a nosedive. It was a really rough time. I'm sure some of you today are in this situation or have been in this situation in the past. And then, of course, all the money in my, limited money that I had in my mutual fund account through USAA, well, it pretty much got evaporated. I didn't have a financial plan. I didn't have any financial direction. I was literally going from paycheck to paycheck and losing all the money in the market and going through what I went through with my house and then, marriage and a child. It was such a tough time, but then a transition occurred, and in late 2014, we started transitioning our finances to a more conservative approach focused pretty much exclusively on paying down our ballooning debt and reducing our fixed expenditures. It was not an overnight process, and honestly, it hurt selling love possessions and writing some rather large checks when we received tax refunds or bonuses. Those checks now were going to debtors. I took discipline and sacrifice aside for a long time, and I reinstituted discipline and sacrifice. And we sold our fairly new construction. We bought a much smaller foreclosure, and within a couple of years, we reduced our car payments by 50%. We also paid off all of our credit card debt. It was a journey. We paid off a 401k loan, we paid off our student loans, and we managed to reduce our cable, cell phone, home, property insurance, and other bills down to free up our cash flow. This was an important and painful step for us to complete, but living paycheck to paycheck and honestly not having a savings to offset the unexpected burdens of life, it put a heavy strain, truthfully, on my sense of manhood to get my family out of this mess. And so I had to put the work in. That's right, it takes discipline and sacrifice, and it also takes putting the work in. And one of the positives of what we accomplished is obvious, and that is that we paid down our debt. We drastically improved our credit and ability to build assets. However, the downside of writing big checks to debtors is that those big checks were not going into the S&P 500 during an 11-year bull run, nor did I have much cash on hand or in the bank. Nevertheless, to stack any of these beautiful precious metals like the gold, silver, and platinum eagles that are in front of us today. So in 2019, after finally re-entering the stock market, I started looking at diversification, and honestly, I became an absolute financial nut job, a total financial health addict by late 2018, early 2019. And then one of the first things I came across was this concept of stacking silver coins as a means to save money. And that's one thing that I've never really been that strong at. I've always earned a good. I mean, I've worked since I was 15 years old. My wife has too. We've never been afraid of hard work, and we've worked to get to the point in life where we're at today, and we're very proud of that. But not being afraid of hard work, I just was never really good at saving money. Always a reason to spend it. So the concept wasn't really one of investing for profit for me, but more of making regular purchases of silver with the money that was left laying around after you paid your bills and had some fun. So, being the person that I am, however, I was watching the, Silver Slayer, Silver Dragons, Yankee Stacking, Salivate Metal, uh, a bunch more, Shadow Stack, Silver Torch. So many great channels out there that I watched long before I created this YouTube channel. And I had to come at it from a little bit of a different perspective, just based on who I am. And now some will say that it's a dumb or a failed concept, that is to pay your debtors first. Um, you know, and me, I like to pay myself first. Okay, I get that paying your debtors first is, that kind of makes sense. But one thing I learned early into my Army career is that if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And so I decided to start running my finances, my personal finances, like I would run a business. And if you haven't picked up on my hustle and goal-driven nature, then you haven't been paying attention to my videos. So stacking silver became a method of saving money. And by making routine purchases of American Silver Eagles from Texas Precious Metals or JM Bullion, and just, a couple of ounces per week, or, every paycheck every 2 weeks, I managed to accumulate a stack of about 60 ounces of silver. And I think at the time I had about half an ounce of gold in 1/10 ounce gold coins, like the like the coin that I showed you earlier. And it was a great place to start. And that's when I started getting on YouTube and talking about stacking as a means of savings and paying yourself first. And guys and girls, what it really just comes down to is discipline again. You have to know what you bring in and what goes out, and you have to question what goes out. And what I mean by what goes out is your money. You have to know what comes in. You got to know what comes out. You got to make a budget. Actually take the time to make a budget and then live by that budget, and then automate whatever you can, like deposits and purchases and bill payments. It's like an engineering process. You have to evaluate for variability in the process. And so come back a couple of weeks or a month later and adjust your budget, adjust your plan based on actual life experience. The goal for me was to find a comfortable amount of money I could use to stack metal and also invest into the market while maintaining my quality of life for myself and my family. What is most important to me, that is. If it wasn't important or being used much, then I got rid of it to free up that cash flow. Look at your income, everyone. Look at your expenses. Then question your expenses and work to cut, and that's where you'll find the money to pay yourself first. Okay, so now let's talk about the future direction of the channel and where I intend to take this channel over the next 6 months. As mentioned, I've been on YouTube now for about 6 months, and I'm going to be introducing a couple new video series to the channel. And I wanted to let you guys know that when I started this channel, obviously it is a gold and silver stacking channel, but I also wanted to bring some wealth accumulation and investing topics to the discussion table. So I'm a little bit different than some of the stackers out there, in the sense that stacking is quite a bit more than 10% of where I'm putting my investments, my savings, my wealth, quite a bit more than that. However, I also invest in a 401k in a brokerage account through TD Ameritrade, and I also do a little trading with Webull in an account, and I like to have cash on hand as well. And I can talk to you about my strategy here real quick as I bring you these 6 concepts. So the first and foremost, we're going to stick with stacking gold coins. Gold is one of the main focuses of my wealth retention strategy. In my personal opinion, every time I convert my fiat dollars or I trade silver or any other asset into gold, I'm locking that in for pretty much forever. I consider gold to be my castle, the inner castle. Right here, guys, this is where that's the core of my stacking wealth. Now, I'm also definitely going to continue to purchase 2 American Silver Eagles per week as soon as I'm able to do so from Texas Precious Metals once they lift the $1,000 minimum purchase requirement. At the meantime, I am not able to make those routine purchases due to that 1,000 minimum purchase requirement. And the other, online dealers have significantly raised their premiums to the point that I just don't feel comfortable paying double the present value of an asset for said asset. In my mind, that kind of defeats the purpose of stacking for me because I, as mentioned, am stacking to maintain and accumulate wealth. And it's just not a wise idea for me to turn $25 into $14 right now. So I'm stacking a lot of cash. All right, so got $500 here and mostly fives. There's a couple of 20s and 10s in the back. I don't have all the fives just yet for my cash series. So outside of stacking gold and stacking silver, that is the third series that we're going to do. We're going to continue with our stacking $10,000 in $5 bill increments. And how we're going to do that, guys, is this will be less frequent than my gold and silver videos. But every time I go to the store, whenever I go to the gas pump, if I got to run into 7-Eleven or if I'm at the grocery store, if I'm at the pharmacy, any opportunity really that I get to make a transaction with my debit card, I pull $5 or $10 cash back, and I ask for it in fives, and then I come home and I throw it in the box, and I've accumulated now a little more than $500 doing this. I started in November timeframe approximately, so it does take a little time with this strategy, but there'll be a video coming soon on this stacking or saving $10,000 in $5 bills, and I'll continue to run that series until we get there. Then that brings me to the next area where I'm going to go into, and this is a controversial topic in the community, and I get that. What I'm going to ask of you, though, is that if digital assets like digital gold, digital silver, ETFs, stuff like that, if that's not your forte, if you don't believe in that, that's okay. Please feel free to leave that in the comments section. I'm happy to discuss why I think it's a good idea for me, and why it might be a good idea for someone else out there. But it's not for everyone. I just ask that if you have a differing opinion than the direction that I'm going with my personal finances, that leave it in the comments section. Please just don't be one of those guys that comes in and immediately hits that thumbs down, and then takes off, and you never really provide any kind of feedback. So I'm happy to discuss what you're doing. I don't claim to have all the answers. I'm not a financial advisor. As mentioned so many times before, I'm just a dude on YouTube, and I'm trying to make a living and doing the best I can, right? All right, so I'm going to continue on with the Apmex OneGold videos, and I've got a poll up right now, and the poll is to vote for what gold coin you would like me to redeem first using Apmex OneGold. And currently the American Gold Buffalo is in the lead, but the quarter-ounce American Gold Eagle is pretty close. So the positives of choosing the smaller coin are that I would have the opportunity to test this system out sooner rather than later. Obviously, it doesn't take as long to save for a quarter-ounce gold coin than it would a full 1-ounce gold coin. But if the community does go with the 1-ounce coin, then that's the direction we'll go. I'll go ahead and close that poll at the end of the month and make an announcement during my follow-up video on Apmex OneGold. Secondly, on this topic, I have been in communication with the director of marketing for OneGold. They actually reached out to my email address from the email address that I posted my YouTube videos. And I'm working right now in discussion to set up an interview with the CEO of Apmex and OneGold, Ken Lewis. So that is in the works right now. And if I can't get Ken, which I should be able to get Ken, they said under normal circumstances it would be much easier to set up. But with everything going on right now, things are crazy in the bullion industry. As you know, I've made a couple videos on that, and I'm sure you're not oblivious to that fact. But I'm going to continue pursuing that. So we'll get Ken Lewis on the line, and we'll see if we can get a poll going to answer all your questions about Apmex OneGold as well as Apmex. Uh, we may have to limit the first one to OneGold topics, and then see if we can reschedule him for Apmex and general topics. But guys, I'm trying to save you some money, and I'm trying to build you some weight. I'm trying to add silver to your stack at a lower dollar cost average. Okay, that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to do it myself. I'm trying to stretch it as far as I can, and I'm trying to bring that message to the community. I'm not trying to screw anyone over here. Okay, all right. So that's the fourth thing. Now the fifth thing, we're going to get a little bit more controversial here, and I want to show you my dividend portfolio with TD Ameritrade. I do have a dividend portfolio with them that I have been putting money into for about 8 months now, and I've got a little more than $4,000 in the account. It was $5,000 a few weeks ago. Anyone else here feel my pain? And I'm going to bring that to the community. I'm going to show you how you can build passive future income by investing in very healthy dividend stocks. Now, as mentioned, this is a stacking channel. I'm just trying to introduce some other wealth topics to the community to create discussion as well as to promote diversification, because I think, you hear all the time for those that are heavily invested in equities and bonds that, hey, you should diversify with some gold. Well, I want to talk to the gold and silver community as well, and I want to let you know you should probably diversify in equities. We are going to see most likely massive growth on the other side of this thing. I'm not a doomsday sayer. I don't believe we're all going to be trading silver for chicken wings here in a couple of months. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, well, I probably won't be on YouTube to talk about it, but wish me luck, right? What I do believe is that we're going to see some accumulation in silver and gold value. Then we're going to see a sell-off as well as an equity sell-off. I think a lot of the purchasing that you see going on right now are the big hedge funds and mutual fund companies that are rebalancing their portfolios. They've lost so much money in equities over the last month that they're rebalancing by purchasing up stocks at value now, rebalancing those portfolios for their clients. But this is not over. It's not even close to over. And while I do believe that the market moves before, the worst of things and recovers before things actually are truly getting better, this is not the time. Look at 2008. Look at the pattern. Look what happened. I do believe this is a bull trap, so I'm staying careful. However, I'm going to bring that dividend passive income aspect to this channel, and I'd like to bring at least one video per month for you guys to view and comment on. And then lastly, in the same respect, I do have another account with Webull, and Webull is a pretty cutting-edge technology company. They're an investment bank, and they have all kinds of promotions going on right now for signing up, like free stocks and uh, mostly free stocks. You sign up right now, I think you get one free stock for signing up. You make your first deposit, you get another free stock for signing up. I do have a link to that as well. If you're interested, I'll throw that in the comment section down below if you want to check out Webull. I've been checking it out. I've got a little more than $500 in there that I've been day trading and swing trading with. And as mentioned, it's not going to be a full-time thing, but I do want to bring a little bit of trading to the channel. I'm just going to talk basic stuff like the RSI, volume, what ETFs that I look at when I'm trying to make a few bucks on the market. But other than that, guys and girls, I'm going to continue stacking silver coins and bars, accumulating approximately 10 ounces of silver per month. It usually ends up being more than that, right? We all go a little overboard, right? And also continue to try to get about a quarter ounce of gold. In the meantime, with premiums being what they are, we're going to put a little extra money into Apmex OneGold. I've got $50 per week on Fridays going into, I think it's $28 into the gold, $17 into the silver and $5 into platinum, I believe. I'll have to double check those figures. But I'll give you routine updates on that as we work towards either that gold buffalo or quarter ounce gold eagle. All right. So I've gone on for a long time here, but I do have one more message to spread, and that is unity. Hey, everybody, I look like Tom Hanks in that movie Castaway. I haven't shaved my face. My hair is crazy. I got to cut my nails. It's been rough, right? We got kids at home. We've got layoffs. Some of us are losing our jobs. Some of us are watching our retirement go down the tubes in the market. Some of us are just damn pissed off that we can't stack silver anywhere near current spot price. There's a lot of angst and worry and anxiety out there, and I just want to, remind you all to stay strong, stay focused, and do what you can to come out of this situation stronger on the other side. I, for one, have gotten out. I'm walking the dogs. I've been lifting some weights in the garage. I've been fixing a few things around the house. Been spending some time with the wife and the kids. I've been doing some reading. Been doing some writing. I've been working on my YouTube channel, of course. And I just recommend that you look at this tragic situation that we're all facing globally here, and obviously protect yourself, do the right thing, uh, social distancing, all that stuff. We're taking all the precautions here in our household so that we don't harm those that are at risk. Uh, Anyways, moving back on to the point, um, I'd just like to encourage you all to, you know, take this time to organize your life and maybe get a little fit and maybe get back in touch with your family. If you're feeling the stress of your family, a lot of uh, domestic violence and stuff like that occurs in these type of situations. Recognize that, talk to each other. If you're feeling lonely, reach out, comment on my page. I'll do the best I can to comment back. Just hang tough, stay unified. Let's work together and let's get through this and let's come out better on the other side. All right, everybody, have a wonderful night, and we'll talk to you next time. Florida Stacker out.
Thank you for watching our video. I hope you subscribe to our YouTube channel.